Hello, I'm Claire Snowden-Darling.
I'm Laura Knowles.
And we are the founders of the College of Functional Wellness and the creators of Functional Kinesiology.
And we are going to talk to you about the Foundation Functional Kinesiology training course.
But we're really going to be talking to you about how this foundation course is not just for potential kinesiologists, but actually has many, many applications because it's hugely exciting.
So, dun, dun, dun. At the heart of kinesiology is the muscle test, which you are going to learn on this course. And what's exciting about that is that we have 48 muscles in our body that are connected via the nervous system into organs. So this means that we are able to have a communication with the body. So for example, the pecs are connected to the stomach. And so you would learn the muscle test for the pectoralis major clavicular. And therefore, if this muscle was unlocking, it's going to give you an indicator that there's an imbalance in the stomach meridian. Isn't that interesting?
It's really interesting, especially when we see how many people have things like knee issues, hip issues, back issues, quad issues, shoulder pain, and quite quickly we're able to start with the knowledge that we learn from this foundation course. We start to be able to go, that could be your digestion, that could be your hormones, that could be your stomach. And when you actually start being able to say to someone, oh, your knee pain, ever had any digestive issues? And they go, oh, how do you know? I've had irritable bowel syndrome all my life. And you go, well, that's because it was in the textbook.
So one of my favorite things to do is to watch people's gaits, because you can see when someone turns their feet in or when they turn their feet out, or if they're sticking their bum out. You can have, when you understand that these muscles are connected into organs, you can go, okay, right, there's something going on with the digestion there. I can see that they're not drinking enough water, potentially a hormone imbalance. It really
they're not
makes,
pooing.
Well, quite. It really makes us look at bodies differently.
It really does. And I mean, I've spoken over the years to, practitioners of all different modalities. And I love talking to PTs, for example, because, they're trying to get their clients to work on the hamstrings. And then I'm like, those hamstrings aren't switching on until you learn how to switch them on. And here's a clue, exercise won't do it because they actually need to be switched on manually. So that's the other thing we learn, is we don't just learn how to test the muscle, we learn how to correct the imbalances. So we learn rubbing points, we work with the Chinese meridians, we learn vascular points.
Well, this is at the core of functional kinesiology, is something called the beans, which is biochemical. So that's the food, that's what we put into our bodies. That would be supplementation when you get to the practitioner level. We also work electrically. So like Claire was saying, we work with the acupuncture meridian points. We work with the Chinese medicine philosophy. We also work emotionally. So you learn in the foundation training basic emotional techniques, which can be really powerful.
So powerful, the basics.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then the S in B's is for structure. So this is when we are looking at gait. We are looking at muscles. We're looking at the relationship between muscles. When this is what I love about kinesiology, is that if you study to become a massage therapist, you will focus on where the knotty muscles are. But in kinesiology, we understand that muscles work together. So if one muscle is tight, it's usually because there's another muscle somewhere else that's not doing its job properly. And so through kinesiology, we can test and find out, okay, what needs to be doing more, what needs to be given more energy into that muscle to make it work, which is going to take the stress out of the poor tight muscle. It's the thing with massage is that no matter how much you rub those shoulders, you can't get them unlocked. But it's because you need to look at the muscles that work with the back of the shoulders to be able to turn those on, to relax these.
It's the same in physiotherapy even. We're often working the muscle that's injured, working it, not actually looking at the opposing muscles and the complementary muscles. So it's not all about muscles though, because the other thing, That would actually, I wouldn't have liked that. I would have been a bit like, I don't want to learn about muscles.
Oh, I loved
We
it.
also learn food sensitivity testing. And this is actually one of the things that kinesiology is really, really known for. We learn that some foods actually cause intolerances in the body. So common symptoms, digestive issues, headaches, neck pain, joint pain, a lot of things that people are actually going to the doctors for are at their core due to food intolerances. And we do the food intolerance testing. And not only are we able to test what foods we are intolerant to, we are also able to test which foods are absolutely fantastic for us and we should be filling our diet with them if we want to be optimally well.
Love it. The other thing that we look at is the traditional Chinese medicine approach, which is looking at the 5-element theory and how we apply that against the kinesiology muscles. And what I love about 5-element is it's truly holistic, because it teaches you how emotion, for example, and seasons and colors and tastes and all these different elements, how they fit into different organs and support them, and how all of the organs work together beautifully.
So it's a really gorgeous training. I mean, obviously it changed my life, because otherwise I wouldn't be sitting here. But I literally remember every single weekend of my foundation training going, oh my gosh, this is the most incredible thing I have ever learned. I mean, ever. And I then went on to study a stack of different modalities and just went, nope, this is the one, this is the thing, because it is just, it's like falling down a rabbit hole into Wonderland, and it's incredible. So it's 4 weekends that you do in person. So you actually get to meet other people who are interested in these things too. And you get taught by teachers who are incredibly passionate, who have thriving clinics and who have an awful lot of teaching experience. It is the Functional Kinesiology Foundation training. However, it can actually be done as a standalone and tagged on to any other modality or therapy. It is completely accredited by the Federation of Holistic Therapists and the Kinesiology Federation. It's up to all the National Occupational Standards and also insurable. And so you can actually go into practice after you have done this as a foundation kinesiologist, which is just glorious. And it was one of the big wows for me, because actually in some other modalities you have to train for years before you can actually start to recoup on your investment. So the training itself, we have taken into account all different learning styles. So there is continuous assessments, there's online videos, resources. So it's not a case of you watch it once and then you've got to remember it. You can keep going back to things. Lovely manuals that are just, we're very proud of them.
We are in the most beautiful teaching space in a place called Hamlin Hall outside of Havant near Portsmouth in Hampshire. So it's a gorgeous held environment for you to be able to learn in. And what is lovely is that functional kinesiology, what is the gift of functional kinesiology, is that it's this bringing together traditional kinesiology techniques, but from a very, very modern health functional nutrition perspective. And that is what our gift is bringing these two things together into a training course.
So if you are considering just adding a bit more health knowledge to your day-to-day life, you want to be able to help your family and friends. If you are thinking about taking the first steps into a new career, I would really, really recommend checking out all the details and just seeing if it resonates with you. And we really, really hope that we will get to meet you on one of the trainings.